All right, good morning, guys. As promised, I wanted to do a video on CAAS. Let's call it CAS just to make it easy. Um, the reason I want to make the video is because this is an account doubler stock. It was an amazing opportunity. It was an obvious opportunity, and I don't say that in hindsight. I called every single move long on this stock and short, but the long was the main focus for squeeze. And my comments were similar algo or move to WIMI. So I have the chart over here from July 10, when the stock went from about 5 to 20. And the first thing you got to think about is how large the company is, the flow, how people load in short, how they're biased, how there's no news virtually, and what the action is leading up to the event of the actual squeeze. So how a squeeze is set up is, there's obviously a big move, there's some buying, and, everybody gets involved in the fade because the stock is up on no news. CAS had a big move up from 4 to 7, and everybody had nice pre-market versus highs. I shorted as well. I participated. I short on this little candle here as it broke VWAP, came back down, risking pre-market highs, and had a nice little fade down, covered in the first wash, and as expected, came out, reshort VWAP, and just faded off pretty nice and easy. So there's no headaches really. There's no big deal. Nothing really to mention too much, and as you can see here, a little bit of a trend started to form. And you can call these lines simple, you can call them whatever you want, but the truth is it's actually pretty easy stuff. It's not rocket science. And typically stocks will base around 10:30 or 11, and as 10:30 came down, started to base 11, it perked. I love 11 a.m. perk stocks, and came down, had some buying there. You can see the buy wick on the support, and started grind to VWAP. Now at this point, this isn't a squeeze, this is just a natural bounce, small squeeze to VWAP. I was expecting a push on 7.2 to 7.5 and maybe a push over highs as a normal trade. That would be a normal squeeze out, and it had a nice slow grind. Now, I want to point out here that when I was trading this and I was short, I literally didn't even short this. The reason being that this is a slow grind. There was no rip up, repair, slam, halt, come back down. This was a slow, controlled grind. And so there was no reason for me to short this because I expected a rip up here, or here for the actual squeeze. But the squeeze never came. It just came down, restuffed and came down. And so I was like, okay, well, that's weird. And I thought, okay, maybe the 7 stuff here was maybe the squeeze out. But, so I actually got long, I think, here, expecting some tricks. Now, I never overthink stocks. I definitely overthought this stock at this point because it was just fading off here, and I actually got stopped out. I think I just stopped out here because I was like, wow, whatever, and I took the loss. And I thought I was stupid because I was like, man, I was overthinking. It was just such an easy short. So continue to watch the stock and just kind of grind it along. They kind of like double lows, came back up to VWAP, just a quick move. And I was like, oh, it's just a silly little move, just kind of scaring shorts a little bit, no big deal. And reshorted again. So now I have short biased, and then it kind of came back again. And came back again. And when it came back again, a third time, and failed, I immediately got long biased. Because yes, it's rejecting and it's fading, but why is it coming back like that? Why is it coming up and stuffing? Why is it doing that? Yeah, they're exiting, they're coming in there, but this is a very small, it's just, shorts they just want their fade. A few people in chat were starting to get frustrated that they weren't getting the fade that they wanted. People are starting to trust shorting pops and it rejecting. So shorts are starting to gain confidence. They're starting to get frustrated. Longs don't really know where to long. Came up again. And I'm actually going to back up just a little bit here. So I want to draw a new line, trend line that I saw here kind of forming. So a base here. I'm just going to remove this line just so we can see a little bit easier. And I'm going to remove this line so we can see a little bit easier. And we're going to form some new lines here. Whatever. General flex. So as it came back, now I was interested along, as it came back here, bought here, expected higher lows to buy here. The time frame was right. It was almost 2:30 p.m. for the move that I wanted. If I was right, it was now or never, risking 620, buying these higher lows based on the trend line. Expecting a squeeze now, monster squeeze, because it never did what I wanted here. The time frame is different now. And so now we are expecting not a move to here or here or here, but we're expecting a monster squeeze, because if I'm right and if it's frustrating shorts, and this is a China stock and it's, people are loading in and they're expecting a crack here and they're expecting a big payday, as it pops up again here, people are going to expect a fail for the 6th time on VWAP. They're going to load again, but this time it's not going to go back down. This time it's only going to go up, and it's not going to dip. It's just going to go straight up. And so long, my plan was add VWAP, add higher lows over VWAP, and then add over pre-market highs. And immediately, the other thing I want to point out as well is the volume. Any stock that's trading under 1 million volume in a minute is not squeezing yet. So at this point, as the volume stayed relatively low coming into the squeeze, as it stayed around 300K, I was like, wow, this is going to the moon, because the volume still hadn't come in yet. And if the volume still hadn't come in yet by pre-market highs, that's just nuts. Like it's going to 10 for sure. So the volume is key, the timing was key, the setup was key, the frustration was key. Just an unexpected move on no news. And once it was over pre-market highs, the rest is history. After hours, very simple as well. You expect some consolidation. After hours, it usually pushes right up, get a few dips, and typically the most of the move is in the first hour after hours, and that's typically where a stock will more or less peak out. And then it will kind of consolidate or dribble off, which is exactly what it did. So it was about a 100% move. This count double. The reason I say that is because you can add decent size here. You can add here on your idea. You can add again and then add over pre-market highs, and even add after hours if you're crazy. But the idea is that you can add to a winner. You can average up relatively no risk at all. So obviously I have to watch some of those halter stocks if they say they're up on no news and different, if it's AMX or something like that. But this stock was a little bit different. So, but that's everything that I was leading up to that. As you can see, just a little bit of hindsight, WIMI on July 10 had the same thing, came up pre-market, came in at 9 a.m., nice little grind, slowly went down, had that same pop VWAP, came down, just did a bunch of stuff over under VWAP, frustrated shorts, finally broke VWAP, and then came up and started to run. Once people finally got short bias, they were frustrated, it was up on no news, float, yada, yada, yada. So anyways, guys, that's my analysis of CAAS. Pretty easy long. I unfortunately sold most of it in this move because I was right on the day and I lost confidence. My ideas are great. I'm still learning how to trade my ideas well, but I just wanted to share why I thought this was long, and hopefully give some insight into how you guys can generate your own ideas. And next time this happens, be ready for it. Obviously, keep in mind that this is a rare thing, so don't just go longing every stock here. I would say, 7 or 8 times out of 10, at least it is going to fail. So this is not a common thing. But if the opportunity is there and presents itself and confirms and there's follow through, then take it. All right, guys, hope that helps. Have a great rest of your day.